Test, test. 1, 2, 3 soleil. 1, 2, 3. Welcome to episode 5 of Office Hours with yours truly. Today, we're going to take a different spin on the next 3 minutes, and I'm presenting to you a grab bag of things that have caught my attention. Actually, we're going to discuss 4 things in succession. Number 1. Not sure if many know already, but LIBOR, the London Interbank Offering Rate, is being phased out. There have been a lot of allegations of tricking LIBOR, of gaming it, of playing with it, of banks not doing the right things with setting LIBOR. And regulators and legislators have decided to do away with LIBOR. Given that LIBOR is one of the most important benchmarks for rates, for anything in banking, financial services, and in lending, phasing LIBOR is going to have a very, very big repercussion on financial technology, on all these startups that do lending, or directly or indirectly. And so I would say pay attention to LIBOR being phased out, pay attention to the new offering rates in New York, in Tokyo, in Frankfurt, and so on and so forth that will crop up, because this will have an incidence on a lot of business models. Number 2, the SPACs craze. I've been refraining in this office hours of talking about SPACs because I don't like them, but let's talk about it. To my knowledge, and I think it's an incomplete list, there are around 10 SPACs right now that are active in the US in Fintech, and there were 14 to 15 that have been completed and have listed. That's an incredible amount of billions of dollars. Of course, SPACs is an option to go public instead of an IPO. The reason why I don't particularly like them is that instead of having the investment banker making like a bandit and either the corporation listing with the IPO or the public being the losers, with SPACs, it's mostly and all the time the sponsor of the SPAC that makes out like a bandit, and the company, maybe not so. In any case, right? The positive is it's a great liquidity tool for those startups that have grown and that don't necessarily want to go through an IPO because they may not be ready, and so on and so forth. First thing that came to my mind is, SPACs are extremely popular in the US. Why not in the EU? Well, I guess that there are a few targets in the EU. There are a few SPACs that have been in activity, but not as much as in the US. And also because of cost. The cost is quite astronomical sometimes, and regulation, and the fact that most of the fintech startups that are targets are way, way more mature and probably will find it easier to go through an IPO. Third item, NFTs. NFTs is all the craze. Why are NFTs the craze? Well, I would think that in this day and age of mimicry and then copying things and memes, NFTs fit a perfect slot in that entire value chain where everyone is copying everyone. And I think that there's going to be more craziness. It reminds me of an Orson Welles movie called F for Fake, which if you're interested in NFTs, you should watch. And fourth and last trend, Pipe. Pipe is a US startup that has an incredible business model, and they finance revenue. More specifically, subscription revenue, i.e. from like SaaS businesses. I think it's very interesting. I think this trend has a lot of legs, financing revenue, other than like invoices and trade finance and so on and factoring and so on and so forth. And I think that in this day and age of like SaaS subscription and like as a service as opposed to buying something, we're going to see a lot more businesses and startups like Pipe. Particularly, I'm very interested in finding the Pipe lookalike in the EU. So if you are a Pipe lookalike or aspiring Pipe lookalike that is based in Europe, please contact me immediately. And that's it for episode 5. See you for episode 6. Goodbye.